close our eyes, we smell the fear and hear the cries. The enemy runs straight at our steel, but we are iron, they will kneel. The first wave crashes, breaks and dies. The second wave sees through the lies. There is no gap, there is no end. The shield wall is your final friend. The third wave hits with all its might, but we are shadows in the night. The fourth wave stumbles, slips and falls. The shield wall answers when war calls. My brother falls to my right side. I pull him close and let him hide. He stabs low with his final breath. We send two men to frozen death. The spears come down like forest rain. Each one removes another brain. We push and shove and bite and claw. We do not break the ancient law. The fifth wave tries to climb the shields. We send them running to the fields. The sixth wave never comes at all. They heard the shield wall's sacred call. The king is screaming from the back. He says there is no turning back. We push again, the enemy splits. Our axes taste 100 hits. By evening time the field is ours. We decorate the land with scars. The shield wall stood for 7 hours. We crushed their flags and burned their towers. The enemy king begged for his life. My brother cut him with a knife. He said no mercy for the weak. The shield wall is the song we speak. When you hear the thunder roll, remember every Viking soul. The shield wall never breaks apart, it only grows inside the heart. The boy next to me is only 15. His father was killed when he was 13. He holds a shield higher than any grown man. He fights like a demon, he follows the plan. The old veteran on my left side is blind in one eye. He laughs as the arrows fly by. Says death is a woman with beautiful hands. She takes you to Odin in faraway lands. We push one step forward, then 2 steps back. The enemy stumbles and cracks in the pack. The smell of their fear is sweeter than meat. We plant the shield wall like a terrible seed. The sun goes down and the torches appear, but the shield wall has no fear. We stand in the darkness, we wait for the dawn. The enemy prays, but their God is gone. The shield wall is family, shield wall is home. When you stand in the line, you are never alone. The brother who falls is replaced by 2 more. The shield wall is never a closing door. So push with your shoulder and scream with your lung. The song of the shield wall is always unsung, but we who have stood there, we know what it means. The shield wall is blood and the shield wall is dreams. It never breaks, not today, not tomorrow. The shield wall is woven from glory and sorrow. And when I am old and my hands lose their grip, I will remember the wall and the ship. I will remember the boy of 15 who died with his shield in the battle green. I will remember the blind old man who laughed as the arrow sacred lamb of war. The shield wall is the law, so lock your shields and close your eyes. The shield wall never dies. Hurry up, hurry up. It lives in every Viking heart. It tears the enemy apart. It is the wall of iron and will. It is the blood that will not spill. It is the promise of the brave. It is the barrier of the grave. The shield wall never breaks. It only takes and takes and takes. The enemy runs, the enemy falls. The shield wall answers when war calls. So raise your shield and lock it tight. The shield wall will win the fight. Cold and pale, we marched through mountains torn and frail, but hunger could not break our bones. We left our enemies on frozen thrones. The snow turned red beneath our feet. The sound of war was bittersweet. We carved our names into the frost for every Viking life we lost. The giant mountain watched us fight. Its shadow killed the morning light. We did not fear the frozen grave. We only feared to be a slave. The chieftain fell with open eyes. He cursed the cold and praised the skies. We took his axe and drank his blood and charged again through melting mud. The enemy had twice our men, but we had fought in hell before then. We broke their lines like brittle ice. No sacrifice was ever twice. At midnight came the second wave. We sent 100 souls to the grave. The ravens ate until they burst. We satisfied the ravens' thirst. We left the mountain burned and bare. The snow was pink with dying air. Blood on the snow will never melt. That is the coldest pain we felt. The pass, we step over bodies made of glass. The frost has claimed their brittle bones. We leave them there for the crows and stones. We wrap our wounds in wolfskin hides. There is no place for fear inside. The cold is our father, the snow is our mother. We kill our enemies and love each other. The children back home will never know the sound of steel on frozen bone. The widows will wait by the frozen sea for men who died to set them free. Blood on the snow is a promise of spring. The ravens will eat and the ravens will sing. We march march through the valley of death and despair. The north wind is tangled in our frozen hair. The enemy fortress is 10 miles ahead. We sleep on the corpses of all of their dead. Tomorrow at sunrise we break down the gate. For tonight we rest and we sharpen our hate. Blood on the snow, blood on the stone. We are the coldest, we are alone. But alone is a gift when the world is on fire. And we are the children of Valhalla's pyre. The winter will end, but the blood will remain, carved into history, carved into pain. The winter moon was cold and pale. We marched through mountains torn and frail, but hunger could not break our bones. We left our enemies on frozen thrones. The snow turned red beneath our feet. The sound of war was bittersweet. We carved our names into the frost. For every Viking life we lost, the wind was screaming like a wife who lost her husband to the knife. The mountains watched us with their eyes of stone. We were not afraid to walk alone. The giant mountain watched us fight. Its shadow killed the morning light. We did not fear the frozen grave. We only feared to be a slave. The chieftain fell with open eyes. He cursed the cold and praised the skies. We took his axe and drank his blood and charged again through melting mud. But this ghost walked with us for a mile. He taught us how to die with a smile. The enemy saw him in the air. They dropped their shields and ran in fear. The enemy had twice our men, but we had fought in hell before then. We broke their lines like brittle ice. No sacrifice was ever twice. At midnight came the second wave. We sent 100 souls to the grave. The ravens ate until they burst. We satisfied the ravens' thirst. The snow turned black with frozen blood. The enemy fell like a broken flood. We stood on top of the dead and prayed. The ravens sang the songs we made. We left the mountain burned and bare. The snow was pink with dying air. Blood on the snow will never melt. That is the coldest pain we felt. The wind is screaming through the pass. We step over bodies made of glass. The frost has claimed their brittle bones. We leave them there for the crows and stones. The winter is our father and our mother. We kill our enemies and love each other. The blood on the snow is a promise of spring. The ravens will lead and the ravens will sing. We wrap our wounds in wolfskin hides. There is no place for fear in sight. The cold is our father, the snow is our mother. We kill our enemies and love each other. The children back home will never the sound of steel and frozen bone. The widows will wait by the frozen sea for men who died to set them free. But we who survive will carry the tale of the mountain where the snow turned pale and then turned red. The mountain of the dead. We march through the valley of death and despair. The north wind is tangled in our frozen hair. The enemy fortress is 10 miles ahead. We sleep on the corpses of all of their dead. Tomorrow at sunrise we break down the gate. For tonight we rest and we sharpen our hate. Blood on the snow, blood on the stone, blood on the stone. We are the coldest, we are alone. But alone is a gift when the world is on fire. And we are the children of Valhalla's pyre. The winter will end, but the blood will remain. Carved into history, carved into pain. The snow will melt and the flowers will grow, but the men who fell will never know. They will never see the spring again. They will never feel the summer rain. But we who live will carry their names. We will feed the wolves and light the flames. Blood on the snow, blood on the ground. The frozen mountain made no sound, but we made sound. We made the scream of dying men and broken dreams. We made the sound of axe on bone. We made the frozen mountain our home. The enemy will never come back to the place where their army turned to black. The mountain belongs to us now, the frozen throne, the bloody snow. So let the winter come again. We are the children of frozen men. Blood on the snow will always be the only thing that sets us free. The northern king sat on his throne of frozen skulls and broken bone. He never smiled, he never cried, he only watched his people die. The blizzard came for 40 days. We could not see the sun's warm rays. The king said, fight or freeze to death. We chose to fight with frozen breath. The enemy came from southern lands with heavy coats and iron bands. They laughed to see our blue cold skin, but we had frost deep within. The battle lasted through the freeze. We broke their swords with frozen ease. Their fingers cracked and fell like twigs. We fed the crows with southern pigs. The king stood up from his cold chair. He walked through blood and frozen air. He killed the southern general's son, and then he said, the war is won. The southern army tried to run, but ice had claimed everyone. They slipped and fell upon the ground. We killed them all without a sound. The frozen throne still sits today, where northern Vikings used to pray. Do not attack, a frozen king. The winter is his only spring. The king was old, his beard was ice. He had paid the winter's price 100 times. He sat on the throne for 50 years. His only companion was frozen tears. His wife died in the second winter. He buried her under a splinter of the great oak tree that stood behind the throne. He never sat alone because her ghost was there. She brushed his frozen hair. The southern general did not know about the ghost. He thought the king was just a host of old bones and frozen skin. He sent his son to win. The sun climbed the mountain with 100 men, but the winter killed them again and again. By the time they reached the frozen throne, only the general's son was alone. He looked at the king and laughed out loud. He said, "You are nothing but a frozen cloud." The king opened his eyes of ice. He said, "You have made a sacrifice of your own blood. It is not good." The general's son raised his sword, but the king did not say a word. He just pointed at the ground below, where the frozen bodies began to grow. They rose like trees from the frozen soil. The general's son began to toil and sweat, even in the cold. The bodies of the 100 men, 100-fold, stood up and grabbed the general's son. He screamed, he ran, but there was no sun to guide him. Only the frozen throne, only the king's cold smile. The general's son was frozen in place, a statue of fear on his father's face. The king laughed for the first time in years. He said, "Winter is stronger than all of your spears." The southern army saw what happened and ran. They said, "The frozen king is not a man. He is a demon of snow and ice. He takes all of your sacrifice and gives you nothing but frozen death." We left the mountain holding our breath. The frozen throne still watches the pass. Anyone who walks on the frozen grass will feel the king's eyes on their back. They will feel the winter's attack. Do not go to the frozen throne. The winter king is never alone. His wife is there, his ghosts are too. The frozen throne is waiting for you. Ship sleeps beneath the waves. It carried us through 1,000 graves, but now it cracks and fills with salt. The voyage ended with a fault. We dragged it to the frozen shore. We pulled the oars forevermore. The wood was rotten, black and old, but every Viking loved that hold. My captain lit the ship on fire. He said, "This death is my desire. I want to sail to Valhalla's gate before my bones accept their fate." We pushed the burning ship to sea. The flames climbed up the broken tree. The mast fell down with burning sail. My captain laughed inside the gale. cursed the sea and praised the land. The fire ate his hair and skin, but he never made a single grin. The longship sank beneath the tide, but something in my heart still died. The captain's ghost still holds the oar and rows to every foreign shore. The longship's final voyage burned, a lesson that we all have learned. You cannot kill a Viking soul, it only finds another goal. The longship was named the Sea Serpent's Tooth. My father carved it in his youth. He spent 3 winters shaping the bow. He said the ship will take us now to places no other ship has seen. The Sea Serpent's Tooth was mean and lean. It cut through waves like a knife through skin. It let the enemy in, and then it let the enemy die. My father smiled when the sails went high. He is buried beneath the broken mast, but his ghost comes to me when the die is cast. The longship carried us to England's shore. It carried us home with blood and gore. It carried our wounded, our dead, our gold. It carried the stories that never grow old. The final voyage was not by choice, but the captain had lost his voice. He said, the sea is calling my name. I must go back to the frozen flame. We lit the ship at midnight hour. We gave the fire all our power. The flames were blue, the flames were green, the most beautiful fire I have ever seen. The captain stood on the burning deck, a hand on his hip, a hand on his neck. He sang a song that his father sang. The whole sky shook and the whole sky rang. The longship burned like a fallen star, and we knew then how loved we are. We are loved by the sea, we are loved by the flame, we are loved by the gods who forget our name. The longship sank, but it did not die. It just went to Valhalla in the sky. Now when the storm clouds gather thick, I see the longship, I see its wick. It sails the clouds with a burning sail, and my captain's voice is a winter gale. He screams my name from the burning deck. He says, don't worry, we are not wrecked. We are just waiting for the final war, when the longship sails from the heavenly shore. So do not cry for the sea serpent's tooth. It is not dead, it is only uncouth. It waits for us in the burning sea, and one day it will come back for me. Found the gold inside a cave, the treasure of 100 graves. The dead men watched us with their skulls, but we were Vikings, we take what pulls. The gold was cold but beautiful. We filled our bags and felt so full. The ground began to shake and crack. The dead men wanted their treasure back. We ran towards the open sea. The ghosts chased us relentlessly. We lost 3 men to rotting hands. They joined the dead beneath the sands. The longship sailed away so fast. We thought the curse had finally passed. But every coin we stole that day brought 7 spirits on our way. We offered gold to Odin's shrine. We poured the blood of sheep and swine. But Odin laughed and turned away. He said, the gold is yours to pay. The ghosts attacked us in the night. They had no faces, only spite. We fought them off with iron and flame. But every fight was twice the same. Gold before the gods will burn. You cannot keep what you must earn. We threw the treasure in the sea, and only then the ghost set us free. The cave was hidden in the mountain's teeth, covered in ice and frozen beneath. We found it by accident, chasing a deer, and then we saw the gold appear. It was not just gold, it was silver and gems, crowns from 100 different realms. There were swords made of starlight, shields made of bone. There was a king's skull sitting on a throne. We should have run, we should have fled, but the gold went straight to our heads. My brother grabbed a handful of rings, and then the cave began to sing. The song was old, the song was wrong. The song had been there for too long. It sang of greed, it sang of death, it sang of the last Viking's breath. But we did not listen, we filled our packs. We turned our backs on the ancient tracks. The ghost rose up from the frozen floor. 100 men, maybe more. They wore the armor of a forgotten age. Their eyes were empty, their skin was a cage. They said the gold is ours, we died for it. You will die for it, every bit. We ran to the ship with the ghosts behind. The screams of the dead were not kind. The 3 men who fell were the slowest ones. The ghosts ate them like the winter suns eats the snow. We let them go. We sailed for 3 days, but the ghosts did not stop. They rose from the ocean, they rose from the top of the waves. They sat on the wind, they sat on the waves. We could not escape the cursed graves. We threw gold overboard, but the ghosts just laughed. They said the gold is half, we need the other half. Odin appeared in a dream to me. He said the gold is cursed, can you not see? You must throw it all into the sea. Every coin, every ring, every stolen thing. Only then will the dead not sing. So we did it, we watched it sink. The gold fell down like a broken link in the chain of our greed. We were finally free. The ghosts bowed their heads and disappeared. The cave is still there, but the gold is fear. Gold before the gods will turn to ash. Do not take more than your share of the stash. The gods are watching, the dead are too. The gold is cursed for me and you. The last winter sunrise painted red, the morning that my brother bled. He fell against a frozen stone and died so far away from home. I held his hand and watched him freeze. He whispered Viking through the breeze. He said, don't cry, don't let them see. The only weakness is to plead. The sun rose up for one last time. It painted blood like cherry wine. The enemy came across the hill, but we were frozen cold and still. My brother's ghost stood next to me. He said, get up and fight the sea. But sea was frozen, land was dead. The only warmth was in my head. I charged alone into their lines. I broke their shields with frozen signs. I killed until my arms gave out, and then I gave a dying shout. The last winter sunrise saw me fall. I hit the ground and lost it all. But in my ear I heard a scream, my brother's voice inside a dream. The last winter sunrise never ends for Vikings who have lost their friends. We rise each morning with the sun and fight the war that's never won. The sunrise is a promise and a threat. It is the only light we get before the darkness comes again. The last winter sunrise is the friend of men who die with empty hands. My brother's blood is on the snow, but where he fell the flowers grow. In spring the ice will melt away, but I will remember that frozen day. The last winter sunrise burned my eyes. It showed me all the frozen lies that men tell themselves to sleep at night. The last winter sunrise showed me the fight. It showed me that there is no end, only the message that we send to the ones who come behind. The last winter sunrise is not kind. It is cruel, it is cold, it is made of steel. It shows you exactly how you feel when there is nothing left to lose. The last winter sunrise is the news that the war will never disappear. So I rise with the last winter sunrise. Every morning of my life I sharpen my axe, I kiss my wife, I hold my children, but I know the truth. The last winter sunrise is the proof that we are all just walking dead who haven't fallen yet. The last winter sunrise painted red, the morning that my brother bled. And every morning since that day, the last winter sunrise has its say. It says, get up, pick up your sword. You are a Viking, you are the lord of nothing but your own two hands. The last winter sunrise understands, it understands the frozen grave, the men who drown beneath the wave, the wives who wait and never know. covers all the bones we leave behind. The last winter sunrise is not blind. It sees the blood, it sees the tears, it sees the 100,000 years of war that made us who we are. The last winter sunrise is the star that guides us to the final fight. So I will stand beneath its light and wait for the enemy to come. The last winter sunrise is my drum. It beats the rhythm of my heart. It tells me when the battle starts. It tells me when the battle ends. The last winter sunrise is the friend of every Viking who has ever died, with open eyes and open hands. The last winter sunrise understands. Sailed at dawn through mist and rain. Our dragon ships cut through the pain. The oars bit deep into the sea. We left our homes for destiny. The northern wind was at our backs. We followed blood and iron tracks. No land was safe, no king was free. We came for glory, come and see. Our fathers died on foreign shores. We carry what their blood ignores. The sea salt burns our open wounds, but we are wolves, we hunt in troops. Our shields were painted black and red. We thought of nothing but the dead. The fallen heroes in the sky, they watched us with the raven's eye. The first man fell upon the shore, but 20 more would take his roar. We climbed the walls with axe and flame. No enemy could speak our name. The village burned like winter wood. We took from them all that we could. The women screamed, the children cried, but we are wolves, we never hide. The chieftain raised his broken blade. He smiled as every warrior prayed. To Valhalla we will ride, with death or glory at our side. The battle lasted through the night. We fed the wolves with every strike. At dawn the field was cold and still, but we survived the iron will. The ravens came to take their share, the frozen bodies lying there. The chieftain laughed and spat on one. He said, the battle has just begun. Now sing the song of those who fell. We drag their souls through blood and hell. The wolves of Odin never die. We only wait to fight the sky. We sharpen axes in the dark. We leave our mark upon the land. The enemy will feel our bite. We hunt beneath the pale moonlight. The frost will freeze their coward bones. We leave them for the crow and stones. The wolves of Odin know no fear. The wolves of Odin are always near. The wolves run together, the wolves never sleep. We howl at the gods and the promises they keep. The blood on our hands is a sacred stain. We do it again and again and again. The long ship cuts waves like a knife through the skin. We carry the fury of Odin within. No chain can hold us, no cage can bind. The wolves of Odin are one of a kind. The village burns red as we take what is ours. We scatter their gods like dead winter flowers. The old men remember our name with a shake. The children have nightmares the night we awake. The women will whisper the tale of our raid. The memory will never, ever fade. We are the wolves that the Christians fear. We are the reason they pray. And they tear their holy books and their wooden crosses. We are the wolves who count their losses. So raise up your axes and scream to the sky. The wolves of Odin will never die. We fall in battle, we rise in the mead. The fallen are planting a terrible seed. That seed grows a forest of iron and bone. And we are the kings of the frozen unknown. The wolves of Odin, we answer the call. Together we rise, together we fall. The mead awaits with golden light. We will drink there every night. But until then, we hunt the weak. The wolves of Odin know what they seek. So let them hide behind their walls. The wolves of Odin, hear their calls. Pull the oars, pull them deep. The ocean floor can hear us weep. We weep for glory, not for pain. We will return in blood and rain. The shoreline grows with every stroke. The enemy sleeps beneath their cloak. They do not hear the wooden teeth that scrape the water from beneath. We land at dawn with silent feet. The village sleeps, the air is sweet. We torch the first house down the road. The screams become our heavy load. The men come out with sleepy eyes. They see our axes, hear our cries. They try to fight, but it's too late. We already opened heaven's gate. The women hide inside the church. We tear the doors from every perch. We do not spare the holy ground where Viking blood has never found. We take the gold, we take the grain. We burn the rest and sail again. The enemy will tell the tale of how we came through mist and hail. Oars to the enemy shore once more. We left their bodies on the floor. The sea will wash their blood away. But Vikings always come to stay. Pull the oars until your hands are raw. Pull until your fingers crack and claw. The sea is a beast that wants to eat, but we are Vikings, we accept defeat. Only when the sun does not rise, we pull the oars with our own eyes. Fixed on the horizon, fixed on the goal. The stories of our fathers are 1,000 years old. They say every oar stroke is a prayer to the deep, a promise the ocean is allowed to keep. But we are the ones who take the promise back. We are the wolves in the raven's pack. The enemy shore is a woman in white. She calls to us softly in the middle of the night. She says, come and take me, I am yours to hold. But we come with iron and we come with coal. The oars bite the water like wolves bite the neck. We leave the home harbor, we do not look back. The women who love us stand on the shore. They will not see us for winters and more, but they know the song, they know the sound. The oars in the water, the north wind unbound. Pull the oars, pull them fast. The enemy shore is coming at last. The torches are lit, the axes are sharp. We are the song that breaks every harp. The enemy sings of peace and of God, but we are the iron. We are the rod. Oars to the enemy shore, one more time. We take what is yours and we call it mine. The sea is our witness, the sea is our grave. But the sea is the only thing that makes us brave. So pull the oars, pull them deep, the ocean floor, and hear us weep. We weep for glory, we bleed for the shore, and we will be back for more. Inside my chest, it tears my ribs and stops my rest. The foam grows on my hungry lips. My fingers turn to iron grips. I do not feel the enemy's blade. I am the storm that gods have made. I bite my shield and taste the wood. The Berserker rage is twice as good. My brothers run away from me. They know the wolf that I can be. I kill the first man with my teeth. I pull his soul from underneath. The second man tries to run away, but berserkers always catch their prey. I break his back across my knee. His ghost will never be set free. The third man prays to his white god. I laugh and crush him like a clod. There is no god who saves the weak, only the rage that makes us shriek. When the battle ends, I stand alone. My skin is red, my heart is stone. The berserker sleeps but never dies. It only hides behind my eyes. Berserker in my blood and bone, I will never fight alone. The bear, the wolf, the rage, the foam will always drag the cowards home. body becomes a different shield. The bear takes over, the wolf takes charge. My enemies become very large and very small and very dead. I see the world painted red. I feel no pain when the blade cuts deep. The berserker rage does not let me weep. My mother was afraid of me. She said, a demon lives in thee. My father was proud. He said, you fight like the gods. In the night I was 10 when I killed my first man. I did it because the bear had a plan. The bear said bite, the bear said tear, the bear said show them that you are not there. You are not a boy, you are not a man. You are the beast that Odin ran. Across the mountains and across the sea, you are the thing that sets men free from the fear of death. You are the last breath. I gave myself to the bear that night. I let the wolf take away my sight. I became something other than human. I became the thing that women assume is a nightmare standing in the door. I have killed so many, my hands are sore, but the soreness is a holy gift. The berserker rage gives my soul a lift. I scream at the sky until my throat bleeds. The berserker rage plants the darkest seeds. The seeds grow forests of broken men, and I walk through the forest again and again. I am the berserker, I am the bear. I am the reason the enemy says a prayer before they sleep. I am the deep, I am the claw that rips and tears. I have lived 100 years of rage. I have turned every page of the book of blood with my own 2 hands. I have walked through the darkest lands. The berserker in my blood is old. It has seen 1,000 winters cold. It will be there when I finally die, and the bear will open the sky and scream my name to Odin's hall. I am not afraid to fall. The berserker will catch me, the berserker will bite, the berserker will carry me through the night to the mead hall bench where the heroes sit. I am the berserker, this is it. Thunder crashed above our heads. Thor was fighting giant beds. The lightning split the sky in two. We screamed his name and started to move. We raised our hammers to the cloud. The enemy looked scared and bowed. They knew the god of thunder came to bless the iron in our frame. The first strike broke the enemy line. The second strike was a deadly sign. The third strike opened up the ground. The fourth strike had a screaming sound. Thor's hammer fell upon their shield. No southern god could ever heal the broken bones and shattered steel, the only thing the cowards feel. We painted hammers on our cheeks. We prayed in blood for 7 weeks. Thor gave us strength to break the wall. We gave him bodies, one and all. When the battle ended, Thor appeared. His hammer glowed, his red beard seared. He laughed at all the Christian dead, and then he vanished with our bread. Hammer of Thor, protect my soul when I die and lose control. Carry me to Thunder's gate before the Christians make me wait. Thor is not a gentle god. He does not walk on flowering sod. He walks on mountains cracked by storms. His hands are shaped like hammer forms. He does not forgive, he does not forget. He only pays the iron debt. When you swing your axe, you swing for him. When the light grows dim, Thor is there with his hammer high. He taught us never to cry. The Christians say their God is love, but Thor is the fist from the sky above. He does not care about your sins. He only cares about where the fight begins and where it ends. Thor is the friend of broken men, of men who die with steel in hand. He understands the frozen land, the frozen sea, the frozen grave. Thor is the god of the brave. We do not kneel to Thor, we stand and raise our hammers in our hand. He respects the warrior's stand. He does not want your prayer on lips. He wants the blood of enemies on your fingertips. So when the thunder rolls tonight, raise your hammer to the light. Scream his name until you shake the ground. Thor is the only god who makes a sound that matters in the end. He is the friend of every man who bends but never breaks. Thor takes the souls of the brave to his hall of thunder, where the lightning splits the sky asunder. The Christians will say we are damned, but Thor holds our hands when we die. He is not a lie. He is the hammer, he is the storm. He is the reason we were born to fight. So sleep tonight with your hammer under your pillow. Dream of Thor, dream of the willow tree that bends but does not break. Dream of the hammer for Thor's sake. He is watching from the clouds above, the god of war, the god of love. For those who love the blade, Thor is the reason we are not afraid. So hammer of Thor, hammer of light, carry me through the darkest night. When I die, let me hold my hammer tight. Let me go to the thunder's height, and when I see Thor's fiery eyes, I will not be surprised. I will say I fought, I killed, I bled. Thor will nod and pat my head. He will say you are welcome in my hall. You answered the hammer's call. close our eyes, we smell the fear and hear the cries. The enemy runs straight at our steel, but we are iron, they will kneel. The first wave crashes, breaks and dies. The second wave sees through the lies. There is no gap, there is no end. The shield wall is your final friend. My brother falls to my right side. I pull him close and let him hide. He stabs low with his final breath. We send two men to frozen death. The spears come down like forest rain. Each one removes another brain. We push and shove and bite and claw. We do not break the ancient law. The king is screaming from the back. He says there is no turning back. We push again, the enemy splits. Our axes taste 100 hits. By evening time the field is ours. We decorate the land with scars. The shield wall stood for 7 hours. We crushed their flags and burned their towers. When you hear the thunder roll, remember every Viking soul. The shield wall never breaks apart, it only grows inside the heart. The boy next to me is only 15. His father was killed when he was 13. He holds a shield higher than any grown man. He fights like a demon, he follows the plan. The old veteran on my left side is blind in one eye. He laughs as the arrows fly by. He says death is a woman with beautiful hands. She takes you to Odin in faraway lands. We push one step forward, then 2 steps back. The enemy stumbles and cracks in the pack. The smell of their fear is sweeter than mead. We plant the shield wall like a terrible seed. The sun goes down and the torches appear, but the shield wall has no fear. We stand in the darkness, we wait for the dawn. The enemy prays, but their God is gone. The shield wall is family, shield wall is home. When you stand in the line, you are never alone. The brother who falls is replaced by 2 more. The shield wall is never a closing door. So push with your shoulder and scream with your lung. The song of the shield wall is always unsung, but we who have stood there, we know what it means. The shield wall is blood and the shield wall is dreams. It never breaks, not today, not tomorrow. The shield wall is woven from glory and sorrow. And when I am old and my hands lose their grip, I will remember the wall and the ship. The shield wall made me, the shield wall saved me. The shield wall carried the brothers who gave me. So lock your shields and close your eyes. The shield wall never dies. A girl when I first bled, but not from flowers in my bed. I took a sword from my dead brother and swore I would never love another. The men laughed when I joined the fight. They said a woman has no right, but I cut the first man's throat so deep he choked on blood and fell asleep. I fought beside the Berserker pack. They broke their bones but never cracked. They screamed my name when I killed the chief. I fed the wolves with his broken teeth. The shield maiden has no fear. The shield maiden has no tear. I buried my heart in frozen ground. The only love is battle sound. The enemy sent their best to kill. I climbed their hill and broke their will. I took their banner, tore it down. I wore their king's beard as a crown. Now I am old, but still I fight. The darkness is my only light. I never married, never stayed. The axe and sword are why I'm made. When I die, please bury me deep, where screaming souls forever sleep, and carve upon my stone the slain, the shield maiden who burned the flame. I have scars on my arms from a dozen blades. I have stories that time has never betrayed. I was there when the longship first kissed the shore. I was there when the enemy begged for more. They called me a witch, they called me a whore, but I called myself the eye of the storm. I never wanted a husband's bed. I wanted the blood of the dying red. I wanted the scream of the final breath. I wanted the gift that the ravens bequeath. The shield maiden screams at the edge of the fight. The shield maiden laughs in the pale moonlight. The men who fight next to me learn to respect the woman who death will never collect. I have died 100 times in my mind, but the gods leave a different death behind. They want me to fight, they want me to kill, they want me to drink from the enemy's will. I am their daughter, I am their rage. I am the sword that turns the page. The old sagas will sing of me, the shield maiden who climbed the tree of battle and fell from the highest branch, who turned the enemy's best into a bloody avalanche. When I scream, the sky cracks open wide. The Valkyries see me, and they ride to take me. But not today, I have too many enemies left to slay. So I scream again and again and again. The shield maiden scream is the winter wind. It freezes the blood of the bravest man. It breaks the shield wall, it changes the plan. So let them laugh when they see my gray hair. Let them doubt that I still have the flair. The shield maiden screams at the edge of the world, and the enemy banner forever is furled. I am the last one, but not the first. The shield maiden scream is a dying thirst, and when I am gone, another will rise with iron in her veins. is the promise we keep. The sea will remember every oar that cut its skin from shore to shore. The sea will remember every tear that fell from Vikings year to year. We buried brothers in the waves, we gave no flowers, only graves. The sea took half of what we loved, but left the other half unloved. The sea is cold, but so are we. We grew up by the frozen sea. Our fathers drowned in salty foam, and now the sea is our only home. The sea will never forget the blood that turned its waves to red and mud. The sea will never forget the screams that filled its nights and broke its dreams. We sail again at winter's dawn. The sea accepts us, we are drawn to deeper waves and darker blue. The sea is what we always knew. When I die, do not bury me, just throw my body in the sea. The sea will carry me to shore where Vikings fight forevermore. The sea will remember our names, our burning ships and bloody flames. The sea will sing our battle song and carry Vikings all along. The sea has a memory older than stone. It remembers every broken bone. It remembers the men who never came home. It remembers the widows who sat by the foam and waited. The sea never forgets, it has no regrets. The sea is a mother, the sea is a grave. The sea is the thing that makes us brave. When we were children, we learned to swim in the icy water on a broken limb. The sea did not care that we were small. The sea wanted to take us all, but we learned to fight the waves. We learned to be the thing that saves ourselves from drowning. The sea is a crown that never stops frowning at the men who try to cross its back. The sea is a heart that turns to black when you betray its ancient law. The sea has a jaw made of broken ships and frozen lips. The sea is the end of every trip, but still we sail because the sea is ours. The sea gives us the stars at night. The sea gives us the northern light. The sea gives us the courage to fight. The sea is the reason we are alive. So when I die, give me to the waves. The sea will carry me through the graves of all the men who died before. The sea will open its salty door and welcome me like a prodigal son. The sea is the only battle won. The sea will remember my name. It will carve it in the frozen flame. It will write it on the ocean floor. The sea will remember forevermore. has already made me free. I am not gone, I am just at sea. The sea will remember, the sea will be my memory. And when you sail to the enemy shore, you will hear my voice in the ocean's roar. I am the sea. I am the sea. We sailed at dawn through mist and rain. Our dragon ships cut through the pain. The oars bit deep into the sea. We left our homes for destiny. The northern wind was at our backs. We follow blood and iron tracks. No land was safe, no king was free. We came for glory, come and see. Our shields were painted black and red. We thought of nothing but the dead. The fallen heroes in the sky. They watched us with the raven's eye. The first man fell upon the shore, but 20 more would take his roar. We climbed the walls with axe and flame. No enemy could speak our name. The chieftain raised his broken blade. He smiled as every warrior prayed. To Valhalla we will ride, with death or glory at our side. The battle lasted through the night. We fed the wolves with every strike. At dawn the field was cold and still, but we survived the iron will. Now sing the song of those who fell. We dragged their souls through blood and hell. The wolves of Odin never die. We only wait to fight the sky. We sailed at dawn through mist and rain. Our dragon ships cut through the pain. The oars was bit deep into the sea. We left our homes for destiny. The northern wind was at our backs. We followed blood and iron tracks. No land was safe, no king was free. We came for glory, come and see. Our shields were painted black and red. We thought of nothing but the dead. The fallen heroes in the sky, they watched us with the raven's eye. The first man fell upon the shore, but 20 more would take his roar. We climbed the walls with axe and flame. No enemy could speak our name. The chieftain raised his broken blade. He smiled as every warrior prayed. To Valhalla we will ride, with death or glory at our side. The battle lasted through the night. We fed the wolves with every strike. At dawn the field was cold and still, but we survived the iron will. Now sing the song of those who fell. We drag their souls through blood and hell. The wolves of Odin never die. We only wait to fight the sky. We sharpen axes in the dark. We leave our mark upon the land. The enemy will feel our bite. We hunt beneath the pale moonlight. The wolves run together, the wolves never sleep. We howl at the gods and the promises they keep. The blood on our hands is a sacred stain. We do it again and again and again. The long ship cuts waves like a knife through the skin. We carry the fury of Odin within. No chain can hold us, no cage can bind. The wolves of Odin are one of a kind. The village burns red as we take what is ours. We scatter their gods like dead winter flowers. The old men remember our name with a shake. The children have nightmares the night we awake. So raise up your axes and scream to the sky. The wolves of Odin will never die. We fall in battle, we rise in the mead. The fallen are planting a terrible seed. That seed grows a forest of iron and bone, and we are the kings of the frozen unknown. The wolves of Odin, we answer the call. Together we rise, together we fall. Cuts the sky. My father raised it before he died. He said the bird will guide us home through through blood and fire, ice and foam. We raised the banner on the hill. The enemy stood frozen still. They saw the black wings in the wind. They knew the war could never end. My father's ghost stood next to me. He whispered, "Fight and set me free." I swung my axe with both my hands. I cut their men like shifting sand. The banner fell, but only once. A spear had cut the rope like dunce. I grabbed the cloth and tied it fast. The raven shadow grew and cast. The enemy ran, but not too far. We hunted them beneath the star. We took their gold and took their wives. We burned their gods and changed their lives. The raven banner flew all night. It gave us strength to win the fight. No Christian God could stop its wings. The raven is the curse it brings. Now when I sail to foreign lands, I hold the banner in my hands. The raven flies, the world will burn, and only Vikings will return. The banner was woven by women who bled. They used their own hair for the thread. They sang to the raven, they called it by name. They said, "Bring our warriors home in flame." The raven is Odin, the raven is death. The raven is every last frozen breath. When the banner is raised, the enemy knows there is no surrender, there is no repose. We carry the banner through forest of spears, through 20 long winters, through 20 long years. The raven has seen every battle we fought, every lesson we learned and every lesson we taught. The banner is old now, torn at the edge, but we wrapped it in blood and we made it a pledge. The raven will fly until the end of the world, until all of the Christian flags are unfurled and burned and buried and forgotten like snow. The raven banner says we will not let go. We raised it in Ireland, we raised it in York, we raised it wherever the enemy walked. And every time the raven flew, the enemy knew what they were coming to. So let them build churches and let them pray. The raven banner will have its day. My son will hold it when I am gone, and his son after him will carry it on. The raven never sleeps, the raven never dies. The raven sits on Odin's shoulder and laughs at the lies. The raven banner flies over blood and over gold, over every story that has ever been told. Raise it high, let the wind catch the wings. The raven banner is the song that the north wind sings. Son upon the sand, they left his body for the land. I found him frozen, pale and still, break the enemy's will. I took his axe from his cold hand. I swore to march across the land. I followed tracks of blood and steel. I swore to make the enemy feel. The first man begged me for his life. I gave him nothing but a knife. The second man tried to run away. I hunted him until the day became the night. The third man hid inside a cave. I sent my fury to his grave. The fourth man prayed to his white god. I showed him that his god was flawed. I killed him when the day was done. The sixth man was the chieftain's horse. I killed it as a matter of course. I found the chieftain on his throne. I made him feel my son's cold bone. He died the way my son had died, with empty hands and open eyes. The sky turned black at noon that day. The wind began to scream and play. The waves grew higher than the mast. We knew the storm would be our last. The captain screamed to cut the sail. The wind ignored him, fierce and pale. The long ship rose upon a wave. It hung above a frozen grave. My brother slipped into the sea. The water took him instantly. I grabbed his hand, but grabbed the air. The sea had pulled him everywhere. The lightning split the sky in two. It showed the sea what it could do. The thunder laughed above our heads. We watched our captain join the dead. The long ship lost our gold, we lost our locks. We crawled ashore with bleeding hands. The storm had claimed the frozen lands. We built a fire from broken wood. We prayed to Thor, we prayed he would. The storm will take us one by one, but not today. The storm is done. We brought our ladders to the eastern gate. The enemy archers made us wait. The first 10 men fell into the mud. Their open mouths were filled with blood. We raised the battering ram so high. We swore to make the castle cry. The iron head smashed through the oak. The stone wall shook, the stone wall broke. The enemy king stood with his sword. He gave his men a final word, but we were through the gap by then. We killed his words, we killed his men. His daughter begged upon her knees. She offered us the silver keys. We took the keys and burned the locks. We threw her father from the rocks. The fire climbed the highest tower. We burned their god in half an hour. The Christian priest screamed to the sky. We laughed and let his body fry. We drank their wine for 7 days. We tore down all their holy ways. The stone wall fell, the kingdom died. And we sailed home with foreign pride. The wives will sing of us tonight. The men who turned the stone to life. The siege is over, we are free. The stone wall is a memory. Are frozen, our cows are dead. The winter took the crops we fed, we cannot stay, we cannot grow. The South has everything we know. We built the long ships in the spring, we sharpened axes, we made them sing. The chieftain said we sail at dawn, we leave the frozen fjords behind. The southern lands are warm and green, the best place a Viking has ever seen. Their churches are full of silver and gold, their women are beautiful, their men are bold. We landed on a sandy beach, the enemy was just out of reach. We burned the first church to the ground, the priest was the first who made no sound. We left the southern people dead. The hunger in us never stops. We eat the grain, we drink the drops. We sail back home with heavy ships. The winter hunger leaves our lips, but next spring we will go again. The hunger is the only friend. We stole the gold from the dead men's cave. We thought we were wise, we thought we were brave. The gold was cold, the gold was old. The gold had stories never told. The first man who touched the golden ring, he forgot his wife, he forgot everything. He sat all day with the gold in his hands. He forgot the sea, he forgot the land. The second man put the crown on his head. He smiled once and then fell dead. His eyes turned black, his skin turned grey. The curse had taken him away. The third man poured the gold in his bed. He woke up with a ghost in his stead. The ghost was old, the ghost was mean. The ghost had been there since the gold was clean. Silent finally, but every night I hear the sound of golden coins upon the ground. The gold is gone, the curse remains. It whispers through the window panes. Do not take what you cannot hold. The curse of the gold is 1,000 years old. inside a ball. It had no rust, it had no fall. The blade was bright as winter ice. I pulled it out without a price. The sword began to sing to me. It sang of blood and victory. It said my name inside my head. It said I will not leave your bed. I took the sword into the fight. The enemy fell left and right. The blade cut steel, the blade cut stone. I was no longer on my own. But then the soul began to ask for more. It wanted blood, it wanted war. It made me kill a friend of mine. It made his blood look like wine. To throw the sword away. It came back to me the next day. I tried to break it on a stone. The sword just laughed and stood alone. I buried it beneath a tree. The sword still calls from the deep. I hear it in my sleep at night. The sword without a name will always bite. Spoke of a bridge of light that shines above the worst of fights. He said if you die with a sword in hand, you cross the bridge to the golden land. I did not believe his silver hair, but I saw the bridge when the battle was there. The enemy fell, the sky turned red. The bridge appeared above the dead. The colors shone like painted blood. The bridge was made of frozen mud and fire and ice and broken steel. The bridge was the only thing that felt real. My brother fell, I saw him rise. He walked the bridge with empty eyes. He did not look back, he did not cry. He walked the bridge into the sky. said that is Valhalla's road. The bridge is the hero's final load. You carry your death upon your back. The Rainbow Bridge is the only track. I want to die with steel in hand. I want to walk to the golden land. The Rainbow Bridge will take me there, through the frozen air. Do not cry, do not make a sound. Just watch me walk the bridge of light. The Rainbow Bridge will make me right. The deeper I went, the darker it grew. The cave had a voice, the cave knew. It whispered my name from the frozen stone. It said, you will never go home. I turned around to find the way. The entrance had gone, the night was gray. I walked for days without a sun. The cave had battles I had never won. I saw my father with his broken head. The cave showed me the men I had killed and left for dead. Their ghosts stood up from the frozen floor. They opened their mouths and asked for more. Why did you kill us? Why did we die? The cave made me answer. Cave made me answer. The cave made me cry. I said I do not know. I just fought for gold. The cave said that is the story told. But now you know the weight of death. The cave will take your final breath. I ran for miles through the frozen dark. The cave still whispered, the cave still marked. I saw a light from the distant crack. I crawled toward it, I never looked back. The cave is still there, beneath the hill. The cave is hungry, the cave will kill. Do not go in if you are afraid. The cave of the lost is where debts are paid.